when we're talking about creating awareness for youth, a lot of us do the urban awareness creation, and we forget that there are people in the grassroots and marginalized communities. So when we say we are doing the social media awareness creation and all of that, how many people have we fully achieved a digital generation?
I think that, and I personally believe that the number one value we need back in Nigeria is patriotism. Always think about what you can do for the country, not just what the government or the country can do for you.
Hello and welcome to Transparency Files, ICPC's Public Enlightenment Program. I am your host, Hawasani Garba. Each year on August 12th, the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, joins the global community in celebrating International Youth Day, dedicated to highlighting the role of young people in driving change worldwide. In the 2025 Youth International Day, ICPC is looking into the national youth actions against corruption for the attainment of Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, which aim to achieve peace and prosperity for the world by 2030. It is worth noting that corruption poses a major obstacle to the attainment of the Sustainable Development Goals in Nigeria, as it drains national wealth, leads to misallocation of resources, slows economic growth. However, ICPC believes that progress in youth's participation in the anti-graft crusade positively affects the outcomes of the Sustainable Development Goals. Also, in this edition, Transparency Files brings you highlights of activities from our state offices. But first, let's join Joy Aja for anti-corruption stories.
Hello viewers, thank you for joining us. My name is Joy Aja with Anti-Corruption Stories. ICPC and the Nigeria Data Protection Commission, NDPC, are set to deepen collaboration to protect Nigeria's data under the Nigeria Data Protection Act 2023 in a move designed to close loopholes exploited for fraud, identity theft, and corruption in public and private institutions. Speaking during a courtesy visit by the NDPC officials to the ICPC headquarters in Abuja, ICPC Chairman Dr. Musa Adamu Aliyu SAN, represented by the Commission's Secretary, Mr. Clifford Okudiri Okparudu, DSSRS, said safeguarding data was now a frontline weapon in the fight against corruption.
For us to have the confidence of our partners in line with our mandate, it's important that we protect the identity of those who feel free to give us information. And I can tell you for sure that our department of ICT department, and indeed the entire ICPC, we have integrity and we believe in that. And I can assure you that whatever thing we do, that has always been our watchword. Integrity, integrity, and integrity.
NDPC National Commissioner and CEO Dr. Vincent Olatunji described the partnership as a critical enforcement tool, citing the provisions of the NDPA. The partnership will focus on intelligence sharing in corruption-related data breaches, joint public awareness campaigns on the link between data protection and good governance, and the creation of standardized data management protocols for ministries, departments, and agencies of government, as well as private sector operators. That will be all in this segment. Transparency Files continues. Please stay with us.
Corruption not in my country.
Madam, madam, welcome. Okay, madam, no worry. When you deliver the balance, we'll give you the goods.
No problem, no problem. All right, so now well done.
Thank you. Hey, Oga, I still say she don't bring money. Maybe we use this one for him now.
She wants mahogany, not white wood.
Oga, our work now to join wood together, deliver whatever to customer. Put the remaining profit for pocket.
This is corruption, not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
Corruption not in my country.
If you are just tuning in, this is Transparency Files. Report by NG Youth SDGs mentions that Nigeria has one of the highest youth populations in the world, with young people accounting for 70% of the population. For this reason, utilizing the youth actions is apt and vital in the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals through anti-corruption interventions. The collective actions against corruption require a multifaceted approach that leverages youth energy, creativity, idealism, and deep commitment to the anti-graft crusade, practice of moral values with other good traits for a better future of the country. With me in the studio to discuss this issue are Ms. Lois Tofumi, a frontline advocate and executive director, Good Tides Philippian Mission Foundation, and Mr. Olamide Dusumu, youth advocate and ICT specialist. We would like to know, for the benefit of our viewers, from your experiences, what are the actions taken by Nigerian youth, especially in the areas of anti-corruption, to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals?
It's something that we want to have, and it's something that we're looking at, creating awareness about. I know that this is in commemoration of the International Youth Day, and this year our team is Local Action for the SDG goals and beyond. And going back to your question now and talking about what the youths have been doing and all of that, I would say that a lot of things have been going on. I think last week or 2 weeks ago, I was with Youth of Africa, where in partnership with Youth Network or Network of Youth, on the SDG goals, and we're talking about shadow report on the SDG goals and what has been done, the gaps, and we looked at 7 of the SDG goals and what the gaps are in those goals. We talked about tokenism. Maybe there's an implementation of a particular thing, and then they just bring in youth after everything has been concluded. They just give us papers and say, "Oh, this is what we are doing, and we've already passed what, and then we will just come and we sit down and we're just looking at it and we're like, they've done everything, so why are they involving us? So that it doesn't look like there is no inclusion going on, and then so they just bring us for physical sit down. So that's tokenism, and we're looking at why all of these are happening. Lots of youth engagement, In fact, this particular youth shadow report was done at the United Nations, a high, level conversation where they brought up all of these conversations down about the SDG goals, the gaps, and all of that. So we have Youth of Africa, we have budget, we have Follow the Money, Connecting Development. A lot of youth-led organizations are doing this. And there's one person that I would talk about, that's Randy Peters on Instagram. He has been talking about electoral reforms and all of these accountability talks and all of that. And then it comes back to me now. I'm part of the Young Urban Women Movement. It's a platform by Action Aid Nigeria where, we talk about austerity measures. Those are policies that are put in place during maybe time of probably there's an issue with our finances and all of that. So the government tends to put some policies, and those policies now affect we that are individuals. Okay. So we talk about some of these things. We do trainings, and one of the things we did this year was to bring young ladies, because as youth, it's not fine for you to just come out and talk about things that you do not know. But when you do proper research, when you have proper knowledge about what you're talking about, then that makes complete sense.
I would like to, know from you, what's your advice on moral values, the good traits required of the Nigerian youth to attaining the Sustainable Development Goals?
I think that, and I personally believe that the number one value we need back in Nigeria is patriotism. Always think about what you can do for the country, not just what the government or the country can do for you. There are so many social activities we as youth can contribute to. If you look around, there are small programs we can get into. There are little areas that our collaboration from different parts of the country can come together and just change it. I'll give you an example. You see, certain ills of society, right, is rife in the country right now because we don't have role models anymore. Yeah. There are no people to look up to. I mean, there are people, but they don't have the certain values. For example, you have a lot of people that have wealth, but you cannot place any enterprise with it. When you bring them up and ask them to share the story, there's always like a gap What we always call it is the God moment. They'll say, story, 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 then God happened, then we're here. You understand? No consistency, there's no flow.
I agree.
And you can't use these people as role models to build up the new generation.
Yeah.
And there's something we say, train up a child in the way he should grow. When he's old, he will not depart from it. So in bringing back certain values, I think patriotism is very strong. Also, things about timeliness, showing up, just always show up. It doesn't matter. Opportunity is always there. It's the person that shows up and takes advantage of it that becomes the wise one. There's also something known as consistency. It doesn't matter how much, how big it is or how small it is. Just keep putting on time. Within a period of time, you become an expert in it. And the thing is, money grows. Growing finances is not about the big hits. It's compounding it. So little drops. After a while, you have a big ocean. Do you understand? And there's something you need to understand. It's called perseverance. It might not be easy initially.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And there's this get rich quick
syndrome
that is permeating this society. If you go back to history and check, people didn't really used to make money in the 20s and 30s. There were very few.
Yeah.
It's the 40s you grow. But right now you have this get rich very fast mentality. I mean, you have a few people doing it, but in reality, just take your time and run your race at your own pace. You see, my dad used to tell me something, overtaking is allowed. Because he has it now doesn't mean he will have it later. Just coast through. Follow your own path. And instead of chasing multiple things, chase one or two or three things, become very good in it. You understand? Bring back those values. You would find out that the world is very easy. And that's how I see it.
I think one more thing that I would like to say is empathy. Empathy, because now we're talking about the sustainable development goals. I feel that when you look at the sustainable development goals, when we're talking about zero hunger, poverty, and all of that, for us to be able to achieve it, there should be a level of selflessness. And, I can feel what this person is feeling. And we do it on individual basis. So once you have empathy, you feel selfless about a particular situation. You're not just wanting to just grab everything for yourself. You're in a space. You want to grab all the money. You want to eat everything by yourself. When we start having that as individuals, I think that will go a long way.
That's quite correct.
Can I also jump in?
Yes, please.
With what she's saying, I also agree.
Yeah.
When I was in Lagos, there was a society I get involved in. What we do is this. Outside walking and following your religious activity, which I also believe one other value I think is called have a moral compass.
Yeah.
You understand? Believe that there is something bigger than us. Follow whether it's Islam, it's Christianity, or what other points. There's something bigger than us. But in what she's saying, join a group. There are multiple groups out there. You can contribute in different ways. They are all groups doing something.
I would like to know from you, Lois, your assessment of the youth participation in enlightening other youths, against corruption in the country.
I think that, because when we're talking about creating awareness for youths, a lot of us do the urban awareness creation, and we forget that there are people in the grassroots and marginalized communities. So when we say we are doing the social media awareness creation and all of that, how many people have we fully achieved a digital generation? Because that's one thing we also need to look into. Because if I say, I come on TV and I talk, how many people have electricity? How many people have radios? How many people have money to buy batteries and put in their radios? That was on a lighter note. But then, there's still so much work to be done. We, as youth, I feel that we should not just stay on a global platform to talk. We should go to communities.
I think that's right. Not I think. If you follow the recent trends in Nigeria, specifically from like the 2015s, you've seen a lot of youth inclusion in the political scape of the country.
Okay.
Specifically from late President Muhammadu Buhari's reign in 2015. It was very youth-focused. And from then, there's been a snowball effect. It's been growing. And you're having a lot of people becoming 18. A lot of people becoming 20. We're building a new base. And the thing is, right now, they collaborate based on the social media. That's where it starts. But it's still transcending into physical activities. Not just in protest. For example, you have people joining the government. This is the first time in a long time you have a lot of youth-centered people entering the government. Do you understand? The government is becoming very attractive. They're going to rise and grow. But the other part is we need to do a lot more in enlightenment. I know ICPC is in the forefront of certain things. For example, the NYC outreach, the secondary school, the debates that go down. I was privy to being one of them. It was so good.
Oh.
Yes, brought a lot of universities. Debate was so strong. Picking the number one person was very
Difficult.
It was very tough.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, but again, you see a lot of
nice.
involvement of the youth. It's always going to grow. But now there are certain areas I think we should focus in. When they are creating in parliaments, for example, the Senate, I think it should be of course focused that the youth is given a part. A section where they contribute in different laws when they are passing it, specifically the ones that are youth-centered or future-looking, because the youth now is going to be the elder in the future.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Do you understand? And instead of having this dichotomy where we try and separate the elder from the youth, we can all learn because at one point the elder was a youth.
And if we tend to accommodate each other, we would also accommodate the younger ones coming, and then it becomes a generational
thing. I
makes
agree
sense.
with you.
Then it
Makes
runs like a government because government is a continuum.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
You do
It
your
is.
best. The idea is just to shift it.
Yes.
As we keep shifting it, after a period of time, we'll be at the promised land.
Because it's not just supposed to be a one-way conversation. We're supposed to have like conversation from the public, even onto the ICPC, so that you're able to hear what are the parts that we need to improve on, what are the things that the youth wants that you can now help, merge and help to attain. Yeah, makes sense.
You're seeing people recording alterations they're having with like some elements of governments. And you're having the PRO coming in and stepping up immediately and working on it as fast as possible. You're seeing in real time, in different areas.
Yeah.
And it's bringing up conversation that, okay, how should policing be done? Do you understand? It's changing the discourse.
Yeah.
So that's the collaboration and the synergy when the youth and the government come together.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense. But we're still also saying that those in the grassroots communities should also, we also want to know what affects them. What goes on at the local level. Because for the international, we say local action. So what are the things that affect you? How do we get to know what affects you if we don't go to those communities to say, oh, what affects you? And I'm glad that there's a free line where they can also have conversations. They can push it up to, the global level.
Yeah, in addition, we have a WhatsApp line too.
Okay.
WhatsApp line where people can send messages and, of course, somebody will respond immediately.
Very good then. Very good. So we're having a global conversation there because there is there's a feedback, and then you can now address the feedback, and then there's a conversation. So that brings lots of solution.
One other thing I was going to point out is ICPC has a human face.
Okay.
Correct?
Yeah.
Since I came in here, I found out you're easily welcomed. People have conversations with you. They want to know what's going on. So please, if you have anything you want to share, come to ICPC. You understand?
It is important to note that ICPC uses several mass mobilization strategies engaging the youth in the anti-corruption crusade. In addition, the Commission continuously implements value reorientation programs in schools for the benefit of the youths in Nigeria. Let's hear from the ICPC Head of Youth Engagement and Mobilization Unit.
Some of the major youth programs we have in the Commission, of course, when the Commission came into being in the year 2000, the first board was very, very wise in coming up with a public education and enlightenment program that encompasses everybody, children, youth, and adults. But the major area of concentration is the youth, and I'll tell you why. Because when you talk about children, it's simply what we have done in the National Values Curriculum, which is going to be reviewed very soon. And we've been able to achieve a lot in that, since some topics that kids were not exposed to before have been infused in subjects now that they can listen to about integrity and the likes. But for the youth, we have initiatives like the Schools Anti-Corruption Clubs. We have the Schools Anti-Corruption Vanguards. We have the NYSC Orientation Camp Lectures. There's a deliberate attempt by the Commission to co-opt the youth to make them own the fight against corruption. That is why at the different stages of their life, from secondary to tertiary to youth service to even beyond, we have where the youth can be able to contribute their quota in the fight against corruption. The Sustainable Development Goals are plenty, we know. Nigeria has its peculiarities. We have our own problems, but the number one on the list is poverty. And you cannot reduce poverty without engaging the youth. If you are a youth and you are engaged somehow, maybe you are a GSM repairer, maybe you are, you have your own handwork, you are a student, you are in the National Youth Service Corps, you have to serve with integrity. You have to do your work with integrity. Whatever you do, you have to do with integrity. And it is when you do that, the sum of it all, it's helping in the poverty reduction, because it will mean you are not thinking about crooked ways. And when you don't think about crooked ways, whatever you earn can be able to go down to everyone gently. Government on its own side will only release programs and the funds, but the implementers, the people that will benefit, if they don't also do justice to it, then how will the poverty reduce?
I am a Nigerian, a highly cultured race. My culture abhors corruption, and with my integrity, a new Nigeria is possible. I say no to corruption today to build a future for my children. Join me and imbibe the culture of integrity to build a Nigeria of our dreams.
Just before we wrap up, let's bring you reports from our state offices with Khadijat Ibrahim as our guide.
A report from Enugu State reveals that the ICPC has inaugurated the Anti-Corruption and Transparency Unit, ACTU, of the Scientific Equipment Development Institute in Enugu. The oath of allegiance was administered to the ACTU members of the institute by Barrister Uchi Aka. Emanuela Anyanwu sensitized the newly inducted members on the overview of the standing order for the operations of ACTU. Coming from Nasarawa State, Mrs. Salma Abdul Wahid delivered a lecture on the dangers of corruption and how to promote integrity among youth at the 13th Annual Teenagers Workshop organized by the Al-Habibiyya Islamic Society at the Epitome Model Islamic School, Maraba. The resident anti-corruption commissioner, Mr. Shintema Binga, received a delegation led by the resident electoral commissioner of INEC, Honorable Umar Yusuf Garba, on a courtesy visit aimed at strengthening partnership ahead of the continuous voters registration in Sokoto. Mr. Binga reiterated the Commission's mandate of upholding integrity in public service and reaffirmed ICPC's readiness to partner and support INEC in advancing a free, fair, and credible elections.
Indeed, from everything we have heard today, the National Youth Actions in the Anti-Corruption Crusade for attainment of SDGs in Nigeria have provided comprehensive frameworks for accountability and transparency in national governance. Also, ICPC has facilitated youth involvement in numerous moral rearmament projects and avenues for the youths that allow young people's participation in the National Anti-Corruption Service. And that's how far we can go on this week's edition of Transparency Files. Don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms as shown on your screen. You can also catch previous episodes on our YouTube channel at ICPC Nigeria. Thank you for watching. See you next week. I am Hawasani Garba saying bye for now.